67%. Lumber's up 67%. Heating oil, 60%? Gasoline, 55%. I understand why you guys are telling me to raise my rates here at Phil's Gang, but we haven't raised our rates since 2001. Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. I'm not going to raise my rates. Our membership's been $39.95 since 2001, and for a good reason. So that you have enough room that when you do make money here at Phil's Gang, and you will, because you're going to learn how to short stocks, that there's enough room to send some money to St. Jude. That's why we never raised our price. And that's why we give you good value. So, you want to continue with good value, good information, be on the right side of the market? Join my gang, philsgang.com, where the price has not moved, where we fight inflation. philsgang.com.
Want the truth when investing in the stock market? Here's how.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. Listen to my radio show every day because that's where you're going to get the truth. You're not going to get the truth listening to these dopes on Fake Business News Network. The other day, Kramer said, don't listen to the banks. They're giving you wrong information. When he told you to buy Merrill Lynch, remember? And what happened? They went broke.
Get the truth at philsgang.com.
Join my gang, philsgang.com. Get the truth. And also listen to me on my podcast on YouTube and Rumble. That's philsgang.com.
What if you could have an in-depth understanding of the stock market just like the pros? Well, thanks to Phil Grandy and philsgang.com, you can. philsgang.com offers comprehensive, up-to-date market information designed to help you understand and anticipate market behavior. With philsgang.com, you'll build your investing confidence even through down cycles and periods of uncertainty. Go to philsgang.com. philsgang.com today. 877-600-GANG. 877-600-4264.
Are you a stock market investor without all the information?
What are you, nuts? Market's going up, market's going down. We're getting all this bad information.
How do you invest intelligently? Phil Grandy can show you.
If you want real information and you really want to know what the market's going to do and you want the truth, go to my site, philsgang.com, and also listen to me on my radio show every weekday at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Phil's got the answers at philsgang.com.
That's philsgang.com, where you get the truth and you get the information you need about the market. Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. You probably heard me on the radio talking about investing in stocks and trading stocks. Well, this is a special message that I am sending out to you. You, the person who is the beginner, who are getting excited. You're seeing every day the stock market going up, never comes down, keeps going up because of the tremendous stimulus that the president is putting into this market. He wants to continue this market going up while the economy's going down. And that's what it's doing. The economy's going straight down. You know, banks right now are the worst ever. They've gone down 40%. I mean, everything's going down. Companies aren't making money, but the stock market is still going up. And you got to be very, very careful when you get into a market like this. You got to know when to get out, and that's where we come in. So if you're a beginner and you want to start learning how to invest stocks properly and have the comfort level of knowing when to get out, when to buy, when to sell, and when to get out, contact us at philsgang.com. Join today, free for 10 days.
There's a lot of noise out there in the financial world. Bank failures, interest rates, bonds versus stocks. It's a lot. That's why it's important to find a voice of reason that can guide you through these volatile times. Phil Grandy and philsgang.com is where you can find honest, helpful guidance to successful investing.
Get the knowledge and understand how the market really works.
And for a limited time, you can join Phil's Gang free for 10 days.
philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
I believe that every single human being with a laptop computer and an internet connection should be required to give trading at least a shot.
Following Phil, his charting system has really been a huge impact on my career and my life.
I believe that every educated individual on planet Earth.
I would recommend Phil's Gang to the mom and pop out there. I would recommend it to parents teaching their children. I would recommend it to grandparents.
Should do this. It's not for every single human being on Earth. I know this, but it's one of those things that you should try, because if you happen to get it right, if you happen to be one of the ones that this is for.
Follow the money. Follow Phil Grandy.
Oh my God.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. That's right, philsgang.com. Join my gang for 10 days. It's free.
What's in front of you is a life of incredible joy, freedom, and independence.
philsgang.com.
stocks discussed on Phil's Gang are not in any way a recommendation or solicitation to buy, sell, or hold. If considering acting on information presented, we first recommend you seek out a competent, licensed professional for advice. Get ready for the radio show that tells you what Wall Street doesn't want you to know.
Oh, I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me. Money sets me free. I'm a money magnet. Money's coming to me.
It's your daily dose of how to manage your money. And now it's time for Phil's Gang on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. With your host, Phil Grandy.
I think, the case of avoiding a recession is, in my view, more likely than that of having a recession. But it's not that the case of having a recession is. I don't rule that out either. It's possible that we will have what I hope would be a mild recession.
Wow, I mean, he just instills confidence, doesn't he? I mean, boy, I felt good after he said that. Wow, there's not going to be a recession. He said so. Wow, that's good. Was he nuts? Are you kidding? This guy, I don't get it with him. Just like Friday, we had a 500-point rally on what? Short covering? That's all that was. Short covering. I mean, the unemployment rate. I mean, it's crazy. Just crazy. But anyways, let me talk about this guy here, Powell. Then we'll get back to the other. So Powell says the same thing over and over and over. Every speech, you notice that? You might as well have a little tape recorder and click it on. He doesn't say anything different. My priority is fight inflation. My priority is fight inflation. Yeah, that's great if you knew how to fight inflation. That'd be a great priority. But the problem with the guy, he doesn't know how to fight inflation. We got the wrong guy for this time of history. They always say, right? You always get that right person for the right time in history, like George Washington or General Patton going to, save a city or whatever, Bastogne. We don't have the right guy for the right time. This guy just is not that bright. Good guy, but he just doesn't have the experience. And he doesn't have the confidence. You can feel that. So, if you take a look at everything he's doing right now, it's too late. You've got to be out in front of it. Anything he's doing now to stop inflation, the recession already began. Remember when we had two back-to-back negative quarters? That was in 2020, the first and second quarter. Oh, no, that doesn't count. What? It's been that way for 50 years. 2022, same thing. No, that doesn't count. We're not in a recession. No, it's transitory. Everything's transitory. We had the inverted yield curve comes 2022. That's huge. You're in trouble. Start fighting. No, we're not. We're fine. No, don't worry about the yield curve. That's wrong too. Problem is, as I said, Powell is just not the right person at the right time in history, and it's going to really kill us. It's going to kill us. His biggest problem is he lacks experience. And you can hear in his voice, right? He lacks experience. And you can see it in his policies. He's like a rookie. He's always looking at the wrong indicator to fight inflation. He's always looking in the rearview mirror. That's why his policies don't work. That's why we can't fight inflation. He's always looking behind him. He started to tighten monetary policy after we had the signs of a recession. Going back in 2020, when we had the signs of the inverted yield curve. Wait a minute. You waited too long. You got to be out in front, setting policies out in front. He didn't do that. So he starts cutting rates after the horse is out of the barn. You got to start cutting rates before. You have to stop all this spending before. If he was the right person, he'd be sitting there with Congress saying, look, you got to stop this crazy spending. You can't keep spending like this. Here's what's going to happen, or I'm quitting. This is nuts because nobody can fix it. And that's the problem. People don't understand that. And the fake business network, they're not going to be honest and come out, you know what, we can't fix this because Powell really screwed up. He's making judgments and policy on lagging indicators instead of forward. Now we're in deep trouble. How are you going to fix it? We're at 5 1/4. That's not enough. 5 1/4 is not enough. I mean, this is crazy. And we had a 500-point rally. What was it on, Willie? Was it Apple? I think it was on Friday. Apple. I said, we should call this a meta holiday, another meta. This should be a meta holiday, national holiday. Because remember, meta was the previous week. And then they came out with Apple. Like, who didn't, I mean, like that was going to be a surprise. Apple wasn't going to go up 500 points. But what people don't understand, that's all short covering. That's all that was. And I told you, I said, wait and see what happens on Monday morning. I said this to my gang. I said, when Apple, because we were in Apple. It's one of our bonus stocks. And it's one of our 6 stocks that we trade all year. I said, sell into it. Start selling into it. Take some profits. Don't get out totally, but sell into it. And you had what we call these tourist investors all jumping into Apple. This is it. I'm going to get rich now. What are you, nuts? When you got a guy like Powell, do you understand how dangerous it is if you don't know what you're doing? And you're listening to these fake business network people. They don't know what they're doing. Everything's buy, buy, buy. The same thing happened during the dot-com. Oh, boy, I remember that. Same thing. They got behind the curve. Instead of getting in front of it, they got behind it. Same thing happened in 2007. The mortgages. We had that big bubble, the mortgage bubble. Remember that? Same thing. They cause these bubbles to happen on purpose. I told you last week, they call these business cycles. No, they're not. They're not business cycles. They're bubbles built. They're created on purpose. And the people who benefit from these bubbles being created are the people who control Powell, who control the big banks, and the big banks are the biggest shareholders of the Federal Reserve. So the very, very wealthy, I'm not talking about the 1 percentile, I'm talking the 1/100th of 1 percentile, who own mega shares in banks, who that bank they own has mega shares in the Federal Reserve, and they want inflation. They want this bubble. It's not a business cycle. They lie and say, oh, this is a natural business cycle. No, it's not. It's only natural if you sit there and you financially engineer the market to go up by giving people zero rates for 13 years. That's a cycle? That's a business cycle. I'd like to meet the guy who created that business cycle. He's got to be a dope. Those aren't business cycles. Those are criminals. Because they make money on these big bubbles, inflationary bubbles. Are you kidding me? Pelosi, she made a fortune on her vineyards because as inflation went up, her vineyard went up. You take all these people in Congress, the 1/100th, the 1%, the very top of the top, they're making a fortune. They're making a fortune. While everybody on Main Street's getting screwed. Now, here we are, we're being told a bunch of nonsense. Powell's telling us, oh, well, we're going to be okay. We just moved it to 5 1/4. And then last Friday, he's making people believe this may be the last time he raises rates. And then he starts to walk it back. What are you, nuts? This is amazing what these people do. This is not a cycle. This is a bubble. It's going to continue to go on. He's got to continue to raise rates.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy of philsgang.com. Over the years, I've successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, the advice, and the software that will take your investing to the next level. I have a team comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. And the Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy, when to sell, when to hold, when to run like hell, even short. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. You don't have to be a seasoned investor to benefit from Phil's Gang and platform. No matter what level investor you are, my strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for the 10-day free trial to see our platform in action. Avoid market pitfalls and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
When making wise investment decisions, Phil Grandy has some sound reasons you should join Phil's Gang.
When I started this, they asked me, okay, can you explain to people why they should join the gang? Gee, I thought about that. And I guess to make money. But more than that, to get good direction on which way the economy's really going. We get so much crap, so many lies, how great the economy is and how great the tech business is, and when it's not. The problem is we have too many people in Washington and in this industry that just don't tell the truth. The truth is everything. And here at Phil's Gang, we stick with the facts. We tell the truth. We make sure our members, are getting the best information, and our listeners, like you. We make that information available to you and make it simple and understandable.
Good investing means understanding how the stock market works. Join today at philsgang.com. Are you a stock market investor without all the information?
What are you, nuts? Market's going up, market's going down. We're getting all this bad information.
How do you invest intelligently? Phil Grandy can show you.
If you want real information and you really want to know what the market's going to do and you want the truth, go to my site, philsgang.com, and also listen to me on my radio show every weekday at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Phil's got the answers at philsgang.com.
That's philsgang.com, where you get the truth and you get the information you need about the market.
If you want to invest your money and grow your wealth, listen to this.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. I get so tired of listening to the same garbage every day, listening to the fake business news network telling you why you should buy this stock, why you should buy, and they're always wrong. Join my gang, philsgang.com, free for 10 days. You're going to learn when to buy a stock and when not to buy a stock. Hey, years ago it was different. You could buy a stock based on fundamentals. You could buy a stock based on earnings. You could buy a stock based on PE ratios. Those days are gone. That ended with QE. That ended when they financially engineered the market in 2008. Gone. Now you got to follow the money. And we have the knowledge because we have the chart. Pro 2 color-coded chart tells you when to buy, when to sell, when to run like hell.
For a limited time, you can join Phil's Gang free for 10 days.
Check it out, philsgang.com. Get the truth, get the knowledge, and understand how the market really works.
Did you know breast cancer kills 113 people every day? That's unacceptable.
African American women die from breast cancer nearly 41% more than Caucasian women.
That's unacceptable.
Breast cancer is the leading cause of all cancer deaths for Hispanic women.
Breast cancer is unacceptable.
Together with Susan G. Komen, we're committed to reducing U.S. breast cancer deaths by half.
And we're going to do it by 2026. Visit Komen.org/unacceptable.
When the stock market is up one day and down the next, you need experienced advice from a pro.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. I know you're sitting there watching the stock market. You're going, what? Is this nuts? Market goes up 700 points. Next day goes up 800 points. Then the market goes back down. Then it goes back up. What that is volatility.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently?
But you got to anticipate what's going to happen with the market. And that's what we give you. Information so you can anticipate in advance what the market's going to do, so you know what stocks to buy, you know what stocks to short. It's all about having good information and anticipation. You got to anticipate. The one thing you can't do is rely on your brokers. Listen.
Our responsibility begins and ends with our partners and our shareholders, and that's it.
What are you, nuts? Partners or shareholders? You're not included.
Check out the free 10-day trial and follow Phil to investing success. Learn more at philsgang.com. philsgang.com. Welcome back. Are you a fan of the Phil's Gang radio show? Then you should check out philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
And welcome back to Phil's Gang. So, Apple, we had this 500-point rally. Now, Apple, as I said, was a stock that we're in. Now, we got into that stock somewhere, it was around January, okay? And we had a nice trade on that. We had about a 10% return. Then we got back in on March 16th. We're still in it as of now. That's about 14% return. That's on Apple. But what you got to remember with Apple, I told my members, go look at Meta. I said, Meta. Remember, they had they caused the market go up 500 points. And I said, look at Meta. It went up, and there was no follow-through. I got my chart up right now. If you're following me on my chart, you can see it. It rallied up 500 points and then stopped dead. Or Meta went up and stopped dead. No follow-through. That's what you got to look for. You got to have the follow-through. Anybody can take that stock and push it up. But if there's no follow-through, that means there's no big buyers. The institutions aren't stepping in. The hedge funds aren't stepping in. The insurance companies aren't stepping in. The biggest investment banks aren't stepping in. That's what happened to Meta. See it? So when Apple was getting ready to report, I said to my members, we're going to have the same thing. We're going to probably have a big 500-point rally. And I said, but we got to wait and see if Apple can follow through. And I'm looking at Apple right now, and still Apple, there's no follow-through on Apple either. Matter of fact, if you look at the volume on Friday on Apple, look at the volume today, about a quarter of that volume. That means there's no follow-through. Why? Why isn't there? Because the big institutions are smart. They call themselves smart money. They didn't mind paying for these stocks at these kind of prices when they could borrow money at zero rates, because they know they'd have another dope behind them buying the stock overpriced. And then he'd have somebody else behind him, another dope, that would buy this stock way overpriced because they're getting money free. Corporations were getting money free. They would buy it. Anybody would buy it as long as you get money free. That stopped in November of 2021. It's much different now. So those aren't following through. So you got three stocks that are holding up this whole stock market. And if those don't follow through quickly, then you're going to see this market go right back through the October low. But nobody wants to hear that. Listen to this. This is unbelievable. Listen to this guy here. Think of this one.
The market and the economy, they've both been more resilient than anybody expected.
Resilient? All right, let's see if it's resilient. So we have historic low savings with historic high credit cards. How's that resilient? They have no more savings, and their credit cards are tapped. They have record withdrawals out of their 401k to buy stuff. Oh, they can't do that anymore. Record savings withdrawal. Oh, can't do that anymore. And that's what they call resilient? When you have 401k record withdrawals, savings record withdrawals, tapped out credit cards. Are you kidding me? And then we have $2 trillion in unrealized bank losses. They haven't reported the $2 trillion. They're still sitting on the books. They don't want to put it out there as a loss. They're afraid to put it out there as a loss. We have $1.7 trillion in unrealized commercial real estate. That's not even out there yet. They haven't put that on the books yet. So you got $2 trillion plus $1.7 trillion. Everybody's tapped out on their savings, tapped out on their credit card. Record withdrawals from 401k, record withdrawals from savings. This is crazy. Mortgage applications are down to a 28-year low. Lenders' profits have dropped from 98% on mortgages and so forth to 32%, minus 32% rather. Existing home sales are negative. Are you kidding me? We have auto delinquency higher than in 2008. I mean, I could go on and on and on. Our government has a negative net worth of $20 trillion. That doesn't sound so good. Corporate debt, $16 trillion. they're going to take a big hit. So that's what they're saying. I mean, this is insane. But see, it shouldn't make any difference to you. My members, it doesn't matter to my members what the market is doing, whether it's going up or down. When they're with us, we're always going to be ahead of the market. You ask them. We're always ahead of it, always ahead of it. It's how we made our money in gold. We were always ahead of the banks. When the banks were rallying, we got in. Then we shorted them before anybody else. And right now, what really counts, so you got to keep your eye on this. Got to put up, it's very simple to do. You don't have to ask anybody, what do you think the market's going to do? You don't have to ask that anymore. I'm going to show you. Take the Qs. Put it up on your chart, the Qs. The Qs got to watch the volume. If the Qs do not hit and go through 330, 334 would be better, and then hold for at least 2 weeks. Can't drop below 330 for 2 weeks. Got to hold with good volume. If it does that, then we're going to turn around and take our gold, which we did fantastic with, and we're going to sell it short. We're going to sell our gold short. If they do that. If the Qs go through that 330 and hold for about 2 weeks, we'll sell. That means we'll stay long the Qs and we'll short gold. I don't think that's going to happen, but it doesn't matter to us if it happens or not. We're ready. We're ready. So because we know how to short. If this does happen and gold goes down, our mining stocks go down, then we're going to be selling our mining stocks short, long the tech stocks, but the Qs. But if you don't know how to sell short, you're dead in this market. You got to be dependent on Kramer and these people. Here, listen to what Kramer said. This is nuts.
Look, I don't tell you to not sell the stocks because I want you to endure a huge amount of pain.
The house of pain.
I want you to endure
house of pleasure.
Was this a house of pleasure, Jim?
Should I be worried about Bear Stearns in terms of liquidity and get my money out of there? No, no, no.
How about this one?
Now, you have to remember that a stock that falls 66%, like SVB Financial did last year, it takes it a lot.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
You want to invest your money and grow your wealth. How do you invest intelligently? Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, advice, and software that will take your investing to the next level. Our team is comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy and sell to help maximize profits. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. Phil's Gang has successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. You don't need to be a seasoned investor to benefit from the Phil's Gang platform, no matter what level of investor you are. Phil's Gang strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for a 10-day free trial to see our platform in action, avoid market pitfalls, and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
I believe that every single human being with a laptop computer and an internet connection should be required to give trading at least a shot.
Following Bill, his charting system has really been a huge impact on my career and my life.
I believe that every educated individual on planet Earth.
I would recommend Phil's Gang to the mom and pop out there. I would recommend it to parents teaching their children. I would recommend it to grandparents.
Should do this. It's not for every single human being on Earth. I know this, but it's one of those things that you should try, because if you happen to get it right, if you happen to be one of the ones that this is for.
Follow the money. Follow Phil Grandy.
Oh my God.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy, philsgang.com. That's right, philsgang.com. Join my gang for 10 days. It's free.
What's in front of you is a life of incredible joy, freedom, and independence.
philsgang.com.
These are volatile times in the stock market.
Market's up 200, then it's up 800, it's up 700.
How do you get the facts when investing?
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. If you're confused about the stock market, get unconfused. Go to my site, philsgang.com, and listen to my radio show every weekday at 3 Eastern. What is the market going to do? We know exactly what the market's going to do.
Phil's got the answers at philsgang.com.
There's no need for you to be losing money.
Check it out, philsgang.com.
Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. Over the years, I've successfully taught tens of thousands of investors how to navigate the market with confidence. Become a Phil's Gang member and receive the training, the advice, and the software that will take your investing to the next level. I have a team comprised of successful investors, all with proven track records. And Phil's Gang software is easy to use, painless to navigate, and tells you exactly when to buy, when to sell, when to hold, when to run like hell, even short. Learn about common market mistakes and how to minimize them. You don't have to be a seasoned investor to benefit from Phil's Gang and platform. No matter what level investor you are, my strategies for investing are designed to put you on the path to success. Sign up for the 10-day free trial to see our platform in action. Avoid market pitfalls and start winning with Phil's Gang. Learn more at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com.
Why are investors listening to Phil Grandy of philsgang.com?
You know why people listen to my show? Because I make it simple. When you talk about the stock market, they make it so complicated. I make it easy to understand. For the average investor, the Main Street investor, most of the time, these guys, it's like they're talking to each other. We talk directly to you and we listen to you.
Invest better with the sound advice of Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. When you listen to the advice of Phil Grandy at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard, things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up or why there's continued inflation or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand, especially yields. The most important thing is to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Radio Show. Want to know more about Phil's Gang? Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
Welcome back to Phil's Gang. Let's see if I can find that cut. This was interesting. President Biden was not taking any responsibility for our debt.
Let's be clear. This is no small part about paying our bills that were accumulated not by me, not by my administration, but by former presidents and previous Congresses.
Wow. Okay, so he didn't have any bills at all. No. This was everybody else, not him. What about the omnibus bill? What about that bill? I mean, are you kidding me? Then you had the American Rescue Plan. I mean, I could go on and on and on. Are you kidding? Those aren't his bills. The omnibus bill. My God. Let's see what else we had here. We had from him. We had. We could go. We could. Yeah, Build Back Better was another one. The infrastructure. Yeah, I got them all here. Infrastructure bill. The Green New Deal's killing us. That's all him. We have. My Lord. He put us on life support, $31 trillion national debt. How about the bank bailouts, the foreign bank bailouts, the American Recovery Act, the Inflation Reduction Act? Oh my God! I mean, I just not go on. I mean, we could go on forever here. So But those aren't his bills. He didn't have anything to do with those. That's not his. That's everybody else except him. Isn't that terrible? I mean, look, that's all behind us. It's happened. Okay? I mean, every president, every Congress spends. He's trying to say that he's the only one that didn't create any bills. Everybody else did. They all do. And that's the problem we have. They spend. They spend too much, all of them, because it's not their money. Not their money. Here it is right here. I just found it. This is what it's going to cost you and I, our kids, for the next 10 years. $73 trillion in increased spending. We don't have any money. We're broke. You know that, don't you? We're broke. Okay? We're totally broke. $58 trillion in increased taxes he's putting on. And it's going to cost us $14 trillion. This is over 10 years now. $14 trillion in additional deficits. But that's not him. Under Biden, debt has increased by 17%, $6 trillion. Since he's been in office so far, debt has gone up 17% by $6 trillion. Deficits have increased by $4.5 trillion. I mean, my Lord. So, what are you going to do? Join my gang. Because once you're with our gang, you're not going to have to worry. And by the way, you can listen to us on YouTube, Rumble, Apple, Facebook, Instagram. You like these little things we do on Instagram. They're called shorts, these little shorts. They're only about a minute long. And people really enjoy those. And those are also on YouTube. Okay, they're just a little like 1 minute. Just go check them out. You'll love them. You'll enjoy them. But if you join our gang, you got a whole staff here behind you. You're going to learn how to protect yourself. You know how you always ask, what's the market going to do? What's the market going to do? Well, you're not going to have to ask that question anymore because we're going to show you how to use the bond market to tell you what the stocks are going to do. See, it's the bond market that tells you what the stock's going to do. Once you learn how to identify, if I'm going to say you want to buy Apple or Microsoft, well, you're going to learn before you buy it, go and look and see where the yields are on the 10-year Treasury. The yields are going down, then you're going to buy it. But the yield's going up, you're not going to. If somebody says, buy in a dip, buy in a dip, buy in a dip, you're going to look before you buy in a dip so you don't get crushed like a lot of people did. So you don't get crushed. I mean, we can't, there's nothing to fix this right now. As bad as that sounds, it's the truth. There's nothing that we can fix right now, not under this administration with Powell. He just wasn't the man for the job. But you also can't take it out on him either. Remember, on one side, you got Congress going crazy with spending, right? On the other side, you got Biden doing all these green bills. You see the last guy went to Congress and asked for what, $93 trillion or $63 trillion? And I love the congressman. His name's Kennedy. He asked, well, what are you going to do with the money? He couldn't answer it. Just like he basically said, just give it to us, and the environment's going to be better. Don't worry about it. The beers won't fall off a piece of ice. Just give us 62. I think it was 62 trillion. Just give us 62 trillion. He couldn't answer what he's going to do with it. I think everybody that's in Washington, every congressman, every bill they pay, every bill they put through, it's a spending bill, I think they should have to come up with 5,000. Remember, everybody in Congress is rich, very wealthy. Very few aren't wealthy. They should come up with about, just put in a big pile, give it to St. Jude's. Every time they pass a bill, they got to have skin in the game. Every time they pass a bill, spending bill, they got to, if they believe in that spending bill, that's good for us, then why aren't they putting in $5,000 of their own personal money? That's what they should do. If you think all these bills, the American Aid bill and the infrastructure bill and omnibus bill, those were the really neat bills, then everyone in Congress should put up $5,000 each, every congressman and woman. And then the end of the year, we'll give that money to St. Jude. They won't do that. They won't do that. Look, we got so much debt. How can you can't get out from underneath this debt with 5.25%, 5.25%. You just can't, because you got to raise interest rates to 8, 9, 10% to win this battle. If anyone thinks that this is over and we're on our way and we're not going to go break those October lows when you have an inverted yield curve, how could you think like that? Everybody said, well, look at oil, it's coming down. No, that's bad. You want oil going up. Oil coming down means that there's no demand. That means people are hurting. People aren't spending. And when you see the numbers, when people, their credit cards are tapped out and their savings is tapped out, and they pulled all the equity out of their homes. Remember, this is much worse than the 2008 financial crisis. We haven't even felt it yet. But my members aren't going to feel it as far as investing in the market, because they're going to be shorting the Qs. When those Qs break through 309.45, we're going to start selling them short. If they turn around and they decide, let's go back to QE, they decide, let's go back to zero rates. Because Congress, the individuals want to get rich. Let's go back to QE. Never mind Main Street. If a ham sandwich is $5, who cares if it goes up to $55? We want to get rich. And they may do that. But that's okay, because we'll be long the Qs. And you look at the Qs right now, there's no way you could be losing money on the Qs. If it breaks out above that 330 and it holds for at least a week, how are you going to lose money? You won't. But if it breaks below 309, you better put a parachute on, because you're going to see this market drop. And if that happens, gold's going to be going up. So we'll be long gold. So the idea, if you understand the market, you understand what the yields are telling you, then you never are going to be thinking, what should I do? More important, what's the market going to do? You're always going to know what the market's going to do. Once you become a gang member, you'll always know. You'll always know. It won't be a question anymore. Join my gang. Go to philsgang.com, hit where it says get started. Free for 10 days.
Want more information on this show? Go to philsgang.com or give them a call at 877-600-GANG.
There's a lot of noise out there in the financial world. Bank failures, interest rates, bonds versus stocks. It's a lot. That's why it's important to find a voice of reason that can guide you through these volatile times. Phil Grandy and philsgang.com is where you can find honest, helpful guidance to successful investing.
Get the knowledge and understand how the market really works.
And for a limited time, you can join Phil's Gang free for 10 days.
philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Hi, I'm Phil Grandy at philsgang.com. You know, I've been doing this business of trading over 55 years. God, they make it so complicated. It doesn't have to be. The best way to learn is to follow me, my actual investments. That's right. When I buy a stock, you follow me. Do exactly what I do. That's the best way to learn.
Check out the free 10-day trial. Learn more at philsgang.com.
Be my co-pilot at philsgang.com. Do what I do.
That's philsgang.com. When you listen to the advice of Phil Grandy at philsgang.com, you'll find investing in the stock market makes sense with the right guidance.
People keep saying to me, boy, things are hard. Things are tough. Boy, the market's really screwed up. And I don't agree with them. For us here at Phil's Gang, you know, we make it so it's simple. It doesn't matter if the market's bad or good. We consistently do well because we make it simple. And just like for my listeners on the radio or on the internet or my podcast, we make it simple. We try to break it down so you really understand why the market is going up or why there's continued inflation or why the bank rates are going up. So you understand, especially yields. The most important thing to understand how yields work. Just what we do. We work hard at it.
Trusted advice, easy to understand strategies that will make you a better investor. Get all the details at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Are you a stock market investor without all the information?
What are you, nuts? Market's going up, market's going down. We're getting all this bad information.
How do you invest intelligently? Phil Grandy can show you.
If you want real information and you really want to know what the market's going to do and you want the truth, go to my site, philsgang.com, and also listen to me on my radio show every weekday at 3 o'clock Eastern.
Phil's got the answers at philsgang.com.
That's philsgang.com, where you get the truth and you get the information you need about the market.
At St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, we're fighting against childhood cancer every day. At the heart of this battle are our donors.
Most of us want to make some type of difference in the lives of others. St. Jude does miraculous work.
The fact that no one has to pay, it's a place where everyone is treated as an equal.
Everybody is welcome here, and it doesn't matter your religion or what part of the world you're from. All that is taken away. It just gives you some hope.
It's just a nice feeling to put your energy into something that really does genuinely make a difference in a child's life.
There's just no greater gift. If we have the ability to help, then we have a responsibility to help.
Finding cures, saving children. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Find out how you can help at stjude.org.
Short on time but want to invest in the stock market? Let philsgang.com help you. For only $39.95 a month, you get complete access to all of Phil's powerful investing programs, videos, and resources.
That works for me. Log in, watch the videos, and make profits.
Find out more at philsgang.com or call 877-600-GANG. That's 877-600-4264. philsgang.com. Welcome back to the Phil's Gang Radio Show. Want to know more about Phil's Gang? Go to philsgang.com or give us a call at 877-600-4264. Now, here's Phil.
Hey, good afternoon, gang. It's Steve Celeste here with philsgang.com. Just wanted to tell you how to get engaged with Phil's Gang and how to become part of the Phil's Gang membership or how to try us for 10 days free. Simply go to philsgang.com. That's www.philsgang.com and click on Get Started at the top of the website. Click on the big red banner that says Working Investor 10-day free trial, and that's all you got to do. And hey, while you're at the website, why not stop by our gift shop, see if there's something in there for you or for somebody you know. All right, thanks, and back to you, Phil.
Okay, thank you. You can join our gang. It's free for 10 days. Check it out, and you're going to get a great education. Everything's archived. You can do it at your leisure. And the thing you should do is be following us. You can follow us on our 6 stocks that we're in year-round, so you know when we're buying or when we're selling short, when we're adding. You can follow our stocks every day, and it's archived, so you know what to do. You go home, you say, I wonder what we're doing with Apple, or I wonder what we're doing with Microsoft. So you're not alone. It works. And the beautiful thing, you're going to learn how to use the yields so that you get to a comfort level when you know the yields are down, what stocks you should buy. Yields are up, what stock you should buy. So check it out. Once you learn how to sell short, what a difference it makes. Then you don't care what happens with the market because you'll be on the right side of it. Okay, so we're talking about Powell has misread everything. And what he's done, instead of looking forward, he's looking in the rears. So he's not getting ahead of inflation. He doesn't understand that inflation doesn't tell us anything about the future of our growth, for example. The idea that he keeps saying low unemployment leads to inflation. He's wrong. That's not true at all. Until he understands, policies, how they work, how they tie into the economy, and he doesn't. The guy just doesn't have the experience. Now, going back to the president saying that everybody is at fault, not him, with all the debt that we're in. We got historic debt, but none of that's his fault. Remember, under him, we now have record debt to income ratio of 113. So in other words, our debt to our GDP growth is that the ratio is 113%. It should be 65%. He spent a record $7 trillion over 22 months. We never had a president do that. We're borrowing a record $5 billion a day. Only under Biden do we have a record back-to-back deficits. Twice. Back-to-back. Twice. In 2021, 2020, we never had record back-to-back deficits. And deficits are killers. They're killers. You got to pay them back. You know, most people don't even understand what a deficit is. We've only had 4 deficits in 50 years. 4 deficits. One is his. One is his. The government's broke. We got to borrow every 24 hours, $3.8 billion. Our income, we end up in a hole anywhere between $800 billion and $1 trillion. We don't have that. Our negative net worth is, we have a net worth that's negative $20 trillion. So Powell is not on top of his game. Not on top of his game. So when I said we only had 4 times ever in the past 3 years that we had deficits, one of those, 1 in 4 is Biden's. And remember what deficits do. Deficits are caused by all this spending. He's been the president for the last 2 years. How can he say it's not his fault? How can he say that? It's crazy. With deficits, there's great consequences. We now have high inflation. They can't beat inflation because Powell's not the man, because Powell's looking at indicators in the rear instead of going forward. We have and because of all this spending, because of the deficits, not only the consequences higher inflation, is higher interest rates, decrease in savings, decrease in income. We're borrowing. We have to increase our borrowing at $3.8 billion an hour. We don't have it. We have economic growth that's slowing. We went from an estimated 2% down to 1%. We have historic trade deficits, and those have terrible consequences. You notice they never talk about trade deficits? Never. Of course not. Why? Because when we import more than we export, our dollar's going down. That's why we always look at our dollar every day, and we're always ready to buy our gold mining stocks. So it's another thing. If you think of joining the gang, when the trade deficits get worse and worse and worse, the dollar's going to go down, and we'll be buying more gold mining stocks. Not gold, but the mining stocks. These are the consequences that he has put us under. We lose jobs in a trade deficit. The guys on the other side of the ocean, they gain the jobs. We're losing 23 factories a day. They're closing. This is unbelievable. Corporations now have historic $16 trillion debt. And they levered it. They got all this debt because they thought, I'm only paying 2% interest. Now they're paying 8% interest. It's all levered up. That's why, anyone thinks that when we had that rally on Friday because of Apple, that's it, we're on our way again, and you listen to these guys, these jibber-jabbers who tell you everything's fine again, people are resilient. No, they're not. If they're resilient, if people were that resilient, we wouldn't have this inflation. If people were resilient, we wouldn't have this inflation. We wouldn't have a decrease in savings. We wouldn't have a decrease in income. We wouldn't be paying higher interest rates. If what he said is true, they're resilient, they're doing well. No, they're not doing well. People are doing terrible. And all those job numbers, by the way, remember those job numbers we got on Friday? That's a bunch of nonsense, those jobs. Remember, those jobs, the way you understand, they rigged those job numbers under what they call the death metric model system. It's called the birth-death model. Remember, there's a big difference between jobs and net jobs. And remember, they don't look for, they're not looking up people. They're not looking how many people got jobs. They're looking at businesses. Businesses. In other words, if a business has 20 jobs, you got 20 components to run that business. What they're looking at is, okay, out of that 20, they'll count 20 as jobs. But let's say only 10 people are working. Well, why are you counting 20? You shouldn't be counting 20. And then if you have a new, now if you have someone goes out and he takes out, he's going to incorporate him and his family. There's only going to be 3 people working. And now they need more jobs. What they'll do is they'll create jobs, make them up. They'll say, we looked in Sarasota, Florida, and we see 2 people. There's 2 companies opening up. They're going to have 25,000 people each. And they record that. And then Friday comes, we got also an extra 50,000 jobs. Wait a minute. Those 2 people are only going to be the kid, couple kids working and the wife's working, the husband. That's it. They have 25,000 people. So they make up jobs. This was Joe Kennedy. This was the President Kennedy's father. And by the way, do you know that the birth-death model system, it was set up under Joe Kennedy, and it's still going today. The last person that receives those jobs before we get them on Friday, guess who? Is the president's staff. And then make adjustments that they need, whether if they want inflation to go down, they make sure the jobs number go down. If it doesn't worry about inflation, they push the job numbers up. They look at the job numbers, they give it back to the BLS, and the BLS reports it. That's been going on since Joe Kennedy. That's how long this has gone on. So that's what you look at is withholding tax. That's where you find the true numbers. How many jobs were created and how many jobs were really lost. If you really want to see a job done, that's the only place you can find it, because they screw around with this number, the death metric system. It's just ridiculous. All right, join my gang today. Free for 10 days. philsgang.com. You'll be glad you did.
You have been listening to Phil's Gang with your host, Phil Grandy, on the Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Off the Wall Street Radio Network. Remember to visit Phil's website at philsgang.com. That's philsgang.com. Or call the office, 877-600-4264. That's 877-600-4264.